It also brought me back to the man I have mentioned called Ken Browning, whom I knew for 8 years, and my parents knew, and they had him in their house as a guest, which frankly struck me as odd at the time for assorted reasons. Not least his involvement in sleazy criminal activities. Anyway, Ken Browning it was who told me about the pawn ring in 87, which probably existed years before that, of course. And Ken Browning it was who told me about Greg Byworth, who I keep on and on about lately because it's finally the penny has finally dropped there. Ken Browning, on the day of his death, was looking for me in the afternoon. I was in Bitton, Southampton today. And there are 2 supermarkets there. Actually, they seem to be both Sainsbury's now, but they weren't then. And I think one was Sainsbury's. It doesn't matter what they were. I was in both of them that afternoon, and I saw him looking in the windows, rather clearly looking for me. Unfortunately, my ex-husband was with me, and I was kind of instructed to ignore Ken. And when Ken did come to my flat that evening, my ex was not there. He turned up at the point when I had decided it was now urgent to get Ken to a hospital. I didn't think that a man who was having a heart attack would pace up and down the room. And in fact, that certainly doesn't jibe with an account of a heart attack I was given only last night. And that is what Ken was doing. He was pacing up and down my sitting room, but by the time my ex arrived back, I was concerned enough to say, let's drive him to hospital. And as I think I've recounted in some other video, Ken apparently dropped dead in the car park before we could get him into the car. And I have a number of doubts about that. A number of doubts as to the convenience of that death. I've said that too. And why, if he was dead, as I've said again, if he was already dead, as the ambulance driver said, why his death is recorded as having taken place in Southampton General Hospital, not where I was living. And as I've also said, if he wasn't dead, why did they not put the lights and sirens on? So I've always been suspicious about Ken's death as well. Not least because, as I again have said, he was prevented from testifying against the pawn ring by his death. So all of that, of course, came back when I was in Bitton this afternoon. A lot of things become clearer, and I have to be wary of not being too triggered, as I am a guest in somebody's home. One of the things I did wonder today, when Ken first told me about Greg Byworth, whom I now realise he knew many years before in London. Well, they were in the same area for a long time. When he did tell me about him in 1987, he told me that Greg Byworth had done jail time and refused to tell me what for, which should have rung enormous alarm bells with me. I'm sure I've said this before. Well, frankly, what I wonder now is whether it was something deeply violent, for which he'd done jail time. Was it even murder? He is connected to Fiona, who was murdered. Amber, who I've said again and again now, I do not believe was killed accidentally. And Greg Byworth had every reason to hate me, because I turned in the pawn ring of which he was a part, and as a convicted jailbird, more than likely he did more jail time, but of course I have definitely said this. The police never told me. I very stupidly forgot that Greg Byworth ever existed and got on with my life. And it's only in the last 2 or 3 years that he's been brought back to my attention, violently brought back to my attention. And I do appreciate that I'm taking some risk because I'm in Southampton. And so is his family. For all I know, so is he. Strange noise. I'll end there.